Hello, welcome back to Coach Kim's Corner. Today we're going to be focusing on open hip movements. And normally I know that hockey players like to call them Mohawks, but being a figure skater, they are definitely not a Mohawk to me. Crosby brought these to the game many years ago, and it brought a whole nother dimension to the game. What it does is you can see much more of the game when you're doing an open hip movement. They're powerful pushes. You can go sideways, laterally through players. And they're very, very important to the game. If you're not good at open hip movements in your game, this is something you should really focus on. So Coach Brendan's going to show us the incorrect way to do open hip movements. As you can see, he's lifting up his front foot. Everything's twisting, everything's turning. He's shifting his weight back and forth. And that is not a good way to do an open hip movement. All right, Coach Brendan, so show us some nice open hip movements. As you can see, his front foot stays on the ice. He gives his weight to the middle and pushes to the front leg. All his power is coming from the back leg, and there's a small C-cut powerful push with the front leg. We're going to show you a drill, a beginner drill on the way to work on these open hip movements. So as you can see, Coach Brendan's got his hands up by his chest. He's keeping his chest very upright. If you lean too far forward on these, then that will happen. So you got to really, really keep your chest up. Okay, and he's trying to turn that back foot. He puts it down and then turns it backwards. You got to really open up the hips. I always like to tell my students, turn the knees out. When the knees are turned out, that means the hips will turn out and the feet will follow. So here we have Coach Brendan showing, I guess, a good stretch at the wall. Feet are flat to the wall. He's trying to get his belly button to the wall as much as possible. This is something you can do at home. This is something you can do on the ice. Flexibility is the number one thing when it comes to open hip movement. So you really want to make sure that you've got great flexibility in the hips. And this will help all your skating.
For the open hips, it's a lot more than just the open hip movement itself. If you look at quick starts and you want to get on your toes, you're going to open your hips and you're going to be hips open to get on your toes. If you look at your stride, when you take a stride push, your hips open. So just the flexibility of being able to do open hips will help your skating in many ways, more than just this movement. Bringing open hips into hockey, there's also ways you can use open hips in more of the hockey aspect in the skating. Thinking about protecting the puck, you can also use these as a puck protection movement. So if you're skating down the wall and someone comes in, you go towards them, pull the puck back. Now they'll hit your knee and you can get the puck back forward. There's also going around the net in a wraparound, which will be the fastest way you can go around the net to score. So if we had a net and you want to go around, you go open hips and then tuck it right in the corner. Just being able to be in between forwards and backwards and your deception. So if you're a defenseman, you see Quinn Hughes, you see McCarr all the time. They're going to walk the line in open hips because it's a lot more deceptive of what you can do, right? It unlocks a lot more things you can do in hockey when you're forwards, you're backwards, but now there's an in-between that can give you more moves and stuff and more ways to be deceptive.
All right, stop laughing at me now. You meathead.